On June 24th, 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1973 Supreme Court decision that affirmed the constitutional right to abortion. This decision is a win for the lives of the most innocent and vulnerable in our society. But it has also sparked a lot of debate around the topic of abortion. So I'd like to address some of the most common arguments for abortion. Number one, life begins with breathing. Pro-choice supporters say that abortion should be legal because life begins when a baby takes its first breath. But by God's creative design, the baby doesn't need to breathe in the womb because the baby receives oxygenated blood necessary for life through the umbilical cord. See, pro-lifers believe that life begins at conception, not at the baby's first breath. That at the moment of fertilization, that child's genetic makeup or DNA is completely established. Its gender has already been determined along with its height, hair, eyes, and skin color. The only thing the embryo needs to be a fully functioning human is 9 months in a protective environment of the uterus to grow and develop. See, the only difference between an unborn child and a baby is their location, size, and level of dependence upon the mother. I mean, even babies outside of the womb are still very small and very dependent on their mother. So to call an unborn child a clump of cells is technically accurate, but it's not adequate because this description applies to every adult. We are all clumps of cells, right? When we congratulate a couple on their pregnancy, we don't say, hey, congrats on your embryo, or congrats on your clump of cells, congrats on your fetus. No, we say congrats on your baby. We celebrate their child in the fact that they are now parents. See, if an unborn child is just a mass of cells, then why is it that when a pregnant woman is murdered in 38 states, it's considered a double homicide? It's because the baby inside of that womb is another person. See, medical authorities determine a person to be alive if there is either a detectable heartbeat or brainwave activity. Unborn children have a detectable heartbeat at 18 days and detectable brainwave activity at 40 days. Second argument is my body, my choice, right? Pro-choice supporters say you should not have the right to decide what I do with my body, which is kind of interesting because the same people who scream my body, my choice are primarily the same people who advocate for mandatory vaccines. So the my body, my choice argument has lost a lot of momentum due to its hypocrisy. But I personally agree with the right to bodily autonomy. The problem is that the fetus in her body, it's not her body. It's another body completely. That baby is a completely different person. It has a completely different DNA set. It's in her body, but it's not her body. And if it's not your body, well, then it's not your choice. See, the fetus is not an organ in the woman's body. It's an actual person. And the my body, my choice logic fails to account for the fact that another person is affected by the woman's choice to have an abortion. See, whenever our freedoms infringe upon the freedoms of another, we are not free to do as we please, right? Every civilized society restricts a person's freedom of choice when that choice harms another individual. Therefore, it is impossible to justify abortion from the my body, my choice argument. You are not free to kill a person outside of the womb, and you should not be free to kill a person inside of the womb. A woman's control over her body does not include the right to end the life of an innocent baby, especially one that she helped create. Number three, the third pro-abortion argument is that abortion prevents future misery, right? Pro-life supporters argue that poverty and mental disability don't justify the killing of an unborn child, right? Every child is wanted and desired by someone. There is no such thing as an unwanted child. Unwanted describes not the condition of the child, but the attitude of the adult. See, it's illogical to argue that a child is protected from potential abuse through abortion, as abortion is indeed the worst degree of child abuse. You know, people say, yeah, but adoption is traumatic. Yes, but it's not nearly as traumatic as abortion is. We should strive to alleviate the suffering the child may endure, not the child itself. There's a preacher and his wife who were very, very poor. They had 14 children, and the wife found out that she was pregnant again with number 15. Right? They were already living in tremendous poverty. Now, considering the large family in the extreme poverty, would you consider and push for that woman to get an abortion? Well, if you say yes, then you'd have just aborted John Wesley, one of the greatest evangelists of the 19th century. The father was sick. The mother had TB. Their first child was blind. The second one was dead. The third child was deaf. And the fourth one had TB. And the mother found out she was pregnant again. Now, given these extreme circumstances, would you push for an abortion? If you would, then you would have aborted Beethoven. A teenage girl is pregnant. She's not married. Her fiance is not the father of the baby, and he is upset. Would you push for an abortion? If you answered yes, then you would have just aborted Jesus Christ. See, poverty, physical, mental disabilities, or even the rejection of a child do not justify their murder after birth, and they should not be used to justify their murder before birth. See, mothers and fathers have a natural and legal obligation to care for their children. Parents are responsible for feeding, housing, and nurturing their children. If parents fall on tough times, they can't just kill their kids. And since parents have an obligation to meet their children's basic needs after birth, it follows that they have the same duty before birth. Number 4, cases of rape and incest. Pro-choice advocates say that abortion should be available in cases of rape and incest, while pro-life supporters argue that the guilty party should be punished, not the innocent unborn child. Right? Pregnancy due to rape is rare. Less than 1% of all abortions are due to rape and incest. Now, even though that is one of the most common arguments that they use, it happens less than 1% of all abortions. So you have to understand that the sexual crime is never the fault of the unborn child. The guilty party should be punished, not the innocents. See, the violence of abortion does not undo the violence of the rape. It only adds to it. Abortion does not and will not bring healing to the victim. It only adds to the trauma of their experience. Every child is valuable regardless of the circumstances surrounding their conception. Number 5, I'm pro-life personally, but pro-choice politically. Right? People say, I would never have an abortion, but I don't think that my beliefs should be forced on others. I think that they should have the right to choose. See, this is one of the most common responses from people in my generation and younger, right? They say abortion is wrong, but we shouldn't force our beliefs on others. Abortion is wrong, but the government shouldn't legislate morality. Look, that's like saying I'm personally against slavery, but I don't think that my beliefs should be forced on others. I think that they should have the right to choose whether or not they want slaves. I mean, slavery is wrong, but, I shouldn't force my religious beliefs on others. I personally wouldn't own a slave, but I don't think it's the government's job to make it illegal and try to legislate morality. Right? That is absolutely ridiculous, yet that is the same argument that they make for abortion. See, the whole purpose of government is to legislate morality to create an equal, just, and safe society for everyone. The law says that stealing is illegal, drunk driving is illegal, rape is illegal, murder is illegal. All of those things are illegal because they are morally wrong. And it is the government's job to legislate those moral values to protect the weak against the strong. And the same is true for abortion. The unborn are the most vulnerable and weak in our society, and so we need laws to protect them. Number 6, abortions are safe. Abortion is not safe. Abortion is intended to harm. All methods of abortion violate the most basic tenet of the medical community: do no harm. Yes, surgeries carry a risk of harm, but abortion is intended to harm. It is the intentional and deliberate murder of a baby. It is anything but safe. 2 people walk into the clinic and only one walks out. That is not safe. 2014, a study by the World Health Organization estimates that within a 6-year period, 7.9% of all maternal deaths worldwide were caused by abortion. That is an average of 27,571 maternal deaths a year. See, significant risk factors have also been associated with abortions, like damage to the uterus, cancer in the uterus, and future complications in pregnancy. And that's not even to bring in the psychological, mental, and emotional damage caused by abortions. Abortion often leaves women with a lifetime of mental anguish. Now, I know the psychological implications of abortion are just as disputed as the abortion itself, but as a pastor, I've talked with countless women who suffer profound regret, guilt, and shame caused by abortions. The Elliott Institute did a study that showed that 80% of women who aborted their baby regretted it. And 43% felt pressured by family members or medical personnel to get the abortion. Number 7, abortion empowers women, right? Like, one of the biggest proponents for abortion is that it is empowering women, right? You've seen the things that saying it's so sad that women today have, less rights than they did 50 years ago. And so they promote abortion as women empowerment. But the most dangerous place for a female is not at the nightclub, it's in the womb, as the practice of sex-selective abortions is now common in many places around the globe. The United Nations now estimates that a minimum of 126 million women are missing from the global population account due to sex-selective abortions over the last 25 years alone. 126 million is a minimum. They believe it could potentially be up to 200 million. See, abortion is disproportionately eliminating women around the world. Not only does abortion disproportionately affect women, but it also disproportionately affects minorities. In the United States, Black children are aborted at more than 3 times the rate of white children. Hispanic kids are aborted at 1.5 times the rate. See, whatever the intentions of Planned Parenthood are, they are disproportionately eliminating minorities. And number 8, abortion is sometimes medically necessary. See, pro-choice supporters have lost the fight that abortion isn't murder. With ultrasounds, the technology, everything we know about a fetus, their heartbeat, their brainwave activity, their ability to feel pain, society is starting to understand that abortion is the murder of a child. So now they are claiming that miscarriages and other common medical treatments are also abortion. Listen, treatments for miscarriages, ectopic pregnancy, or pre-viable separation when a mother's life is in immediate danger are not abortions. It is not morally an abortion, and it is not legally an abortion. Medical authorities representing more than 30,000 doctors said that intentionally killing a late-term unborn baby by abortion is never necessary to save a mother's life. Abortion is never necessary. Since the Roe v. Wade ruling in 1973, over 63 million babies have been aborted. That is 19% of our country's current population. 63 million. To put that in perspective, the total casualties in every war that the United States has ever been involved in is less than 3 million. Today, abortion is the leading cause of death in the United States, and it's not even close. The most dangerous place in America is in the womb. Abortion is single-handedly the greatest civil rights issue in our day. And the sad reality is that we have people who shed more tears over animal cruelty than the cruelty of the unborn. Now, some would say, yeah, but Josh, you don't have a uterus, so you can't speak on this. Look, I don't need a uterus to recognize injustice towards the unborn any more than I need melanin to recognize injustice towards minorities. If males can't speak on abortion, then why did nobody get upset when 9 male judges ruled on Roe v. Wade in 1973 with no critique on their gender when they voted on this unjust law? See, this isn't left versus right. This is right versus wrong, and abortion is wrong. Now, to those who've had abortions and are wondering if there is a seat for you at God's table, the answer is yes. See, God knows what it's like to lose a son. And God's great grace is no match for our mistakes. And so if you've put your faith and trust in Jesus, you've turned to him for the forgiveness of sins, rest assured that you will see your baby again. Heaven's largest mansion is reserved for those whose lives were lost before they ever had a chance to breathe. And if you lost a baby, rest assured that they are safe in the arms of Jesus, and one day you will hold them again. We love you, and we are praying that God would heal the wounds you carry and show you the power of his redemptive grace. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and smash that like button. Share this video with a friend. And if you haven't already yet, subscribe to this channel by clicking on that bell so that you can be notified when new videos come out. Thanks for watching, and remember, if it's not good, God's not done. I'd love to hear your comments on this video down below. Let me know what you think.